First one of the season is ready to leave. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back. Flip That Truck, episode 2, season 3. In the first episode, I showed you like 5 different vehicles that I was going to use as the basis to start this season of the series. And in that, I showed you 2 SCX-10s that I was going to combine to make one vehicle. And I've got that completed. We've got it sitting here in front of us. Now, this was a little bit more involved maybe than I would have initially thought, but it wasn't that bad. So we had 2 SCX-10s. One was pretty much a roller, but with no body. And then the other one was a body, chassis, some links, but that was about it. And what I needed to do was try and combine those 2 to create one vehicle. And we got that done and made it work out pretty well. Now, again, this is SCX-10 original, SCX-10-1, however you want to refer to it, that the base for this was. But it had a lot of really nice parts on it, like titanium links, chassis mounted servo setup. Along with that, the Vanquish 3-link and panhard mount for the stock axial axles, an original axial SCX 3-gear transmission case, which is pretty rare, and Vanquish aluminum shock towers for the SCX-10-1, which are also pretty sought after. Electronics in this is a Sidewinder 3. There's a 35-turn brushed motor, Castle BEC in there as well. And the servo is a high-tech, and I forget, it is the 7955 TG servo. So decent amount of steering servo, some just pretty basic budget electronics that get the job done. Now, to get everything completed on this, I stripped down the chassis that this body was attached to and moved them over to the chassis that was more of a roller. Except that the chassis was more of a roller was set up with a little bit too long of a wheelbase for this body. So I had to find some new links for the rear to get the wheelbase shortened to the appropriate level to fit this body. And we got that matched up pretty close. I was able to find titanium links so that they still matched all of the front titanium links, just to keep everything the same. Once we did that, since I shortened the wheelbase, the transmission that was in the rolling truck had an extended rear output on it, which didn't work with the shortened wheelbase. So I needed to take the hardened output and gear out of the other transmission and move that over into this one, just to make driveline angles and everything work out properly. But just a little bit of, fiddling and trying to make sure that all of the parts that I had were going to be able to work together to make this truck complete. Now, along with this body, this truck also had custom sliders and a rear bumper, but it didn't have a front bumper. So after I got everything done and moved over, I did make a new rear body mount to get it lowered a little bit to help it fit these sliders a little bit better, make the gap along the body's edge just a little bit tighter all around. So lowered that down about 1/4 inch, helped it sit a little bit closer to the rear bumper as well. Just everything just a little bit nicer than it was. And then I got that all in place, so I decided I needed to make myself a front bumper. I had some scale metal supplies, fab tabs, which allow you to make this a lot easier. You can bolt the tabs onto the chassis, kind of slide your tube in there, and then use that as a basis to weld. It just helps so you don't have to make all of the parts to get this all put together. I was able to get that all in there. I did go through and modify the tabs so that there was nothing sticking out in front of the bumper, just to make it all a little bit cleaner. Pretty easy modifications. I TIG welded everything up on this with some silicon bronze, which is actually like TIG brazing, which is something I like to do quite a bit, but ended up with a nice bumper. I added a stinger or grill guard or bull bar, whatever you want to call it, to the front, just to give it a little bit more style, a little bit more protection as well. Kept it nice and clean. Now, this SCX-10-1 also had a battery plate set up here in the front, but it was too long to work with this body and the bumper. So I ended up shortening it and then making a new mount that kind of works mid-span to get everything well supported again. So everything is just wrapped up pretty nice and clean on this. Even though it's an older platform, it still has nice parts. All the VP you know, stage 1 kit, axle shafts. It's got Proline scale shocks. Again, all the titanium links. About as nice as you're going to make a truck like this without also changing out to some really nice axle housing. It was the simplest one, I think, for the most part, or almost the simplest. And it just took a handful of hours and a little bit of elbow grease to make everything work out right. I did also show different wheels on it the first time, swapped over to just some other beadlock wheels and Vanquish tires. They are a little bit smaller than the ones that were on there, and that helps fit the size of this body. I think that this body could really go for some like 4.5 or even some 4.19 inch tires, and it would be maybe even a little bit better. But I didn't have any of those mounted to some wheels, so this turned out to be the kind of the best fit for clearances and style. I think that they're a little bit better suited, and the previous ones are already sold. So this truck pretty much is just waiting for me to get it listed on the website. I'll get the details of it with the price and everything put on my website probably later today if you're watching this shortly after the video is uploaded. I'll leave it up on the website with a status of it for a while. If it sells, it'll say sold. Beyond that, but if you're watching this long after this video was uploaded, it's likely gone. I had about 150 bucks in this truck when I started. Had to make a custom bumper, added some wheels and tires, changed out some links, all stuff that I, just kind of had around. So I'm not really going to add any additional, parts value that I had to put into it. I think it was all pretty basic as far as that goes. I did have to use some fab tabs, but that's kind of just shop supplies, we'll call it. So we're gonna write that off and consider that just part of the price. Oh, I also did put some vinyl stickers along the hood line on each side, just kind of noting its origins, at least as it came through me. I am left over with a lot of parts that I will definitely keep around for this series, including this really nice transmission setup, which has got hardened gears and extended output shafts. This could definitely come in helpful. So that's going to stick around in a box of parts for Flip That Truck. I also have the remnants of the chassis from the truck and some odds and ends here and there. Next week, I think that I'm going to be finishing up the Flex Seal truck because it doesn't need that much. It's going to be pretty easy to wrap up the last of the details that I have on that. So that one should be very minimal, just going to be able to just slam through that and get it ready to go as well. But I think we're also going to start on this Class 2. This one needs a lot of work, not the most out of the ones that you've seen, that were going to be in this series, but a lot nonetheless. So you'll see a little bit of this one in that video, but definitely not all of the work that will be required. Had some great comments on the first episode and some really good suggestions on some of the things that I needed to get done, especially with, stripping the powder coating off of that, rock bouncer chassis that I've got. I'm gonna try some of that. Probably not going to make it into the next episode, but possibly the one after that. Again, if you have trucks that you're looking to sell that are unique and, possibly have either good parts or are well put together, you can always shoot a message to me either on Instagram or through my website. Always interested in more trucks for the series. They either have to be pretty unique or a pretty good deal. So if I pass, don't be offended, but reach out, you never know. Hope you guys enjoy this series because it's something that I do enjoy, taking trucks and trying to turn them into something that looks well, this one, I don't know how much better this will look because I don't know that I can change this paint. I feel like it's gotta stay. But let me know what you guys think. Drop a comment below. As always, thanks for watching. Hit the like button if you enjoy them. Subscribe if you're not already. Hit the notification bell so you see the videos as soon as they get uploaded. As always, thanks again for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.